Do you have any concluding thoughts or remarks that you would like to share with everyone before we part ways?
I was very impressed with with India's progress in terms of allocating resource separately for mental health care. But I totally understand what Dr. Patare mentioned more than once, that unless we are able to identify the barriers, and devise a systematic approach to implementation, these policies and legislations, they don't go anywhere. They don't take us to any progress in terms of changing lives on the ground. What has happened with India's national health policy since 2014 is very similar to our story of mental health legislation, which was first enacted in 2001 and was devolved to the provinces in 2011 and 12, and then the provinces started enacting them, and still we have not seen much change in implementation. Also, listening to the cultural context of Sri Lanka, and how the experience of tsunami has helped them think differently about community level interventions is fascinating for me. I think that's something that Pakistan is way back, and one can only hope that a crisis like this will be impetus in, for us to initiate those much needed interventions. This pandemic is an opportunity where, like other colleagues said, that there's a lot of talk on mental health. And even if we can make one little dent in there and start a process where we start thinking in terms of challenging the biomedical model of psychiatry that prevails. And this is the only concept of mental health in some countries like Pakistan. And also because this is the right time when policymakers and senior officials in the state are also sensitized to the mental health needs, and maybe it might be easier for us. But what is extremely important is to make sure that whatever we plan, however small that is, it has to be done in a practical and feasible way where we can move forward rather than develop projects and policies on paper with no real-time change.
I think there's a lot that countries in the region can learn from Sri Lanka. As Dr. Asma also mentioned, that Sri Lanka, because of its experience with the tsunami, has actually put in place a lot of services and ways of dealing with it, and there's an understanding which probably is much more culturally attuned to our South Asian communities. And I think countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and many of the countries in the region have a lot to learn from Sri Lanka and the way Sri Lanka has been dealing or has dealt with repeated crises in the recent times. I mean, in many ways, Sri Lanka is a star in terms of how community health, mental health services can be provided. The third thing that strikes me is how bureaucracy or how bureaucratic responses in many of our countries have been very similar. So Professor Somasundaram talked about, police enforcing lockdowns, or Dr. Asma talking about police or bureaucrat, public officials going off and sticking notices on people's doors that, oh, this person has got a COVID illness. Now this has happened in India too. And so it seems to me that there seems to be a kind of cultural similarity even in our bureaucratic responses. So not only in terms of our, culture seems to carry over into also how our health systems or our public health systems or public systems respond to crisis. So maybe there are some learnings there too, which we could share and look at better practices or good practices to achieve the same result without doing things that can be highly stigmatizing, or as Dr. Asma said, for example, if you put these notices, then people don't come out and get themselves tested, or if they get tested, they don't say that they might be infective and actually cause a much bigger public health risk. I totally endorse the call from Dr. Asma that we need a lot more of these kind of communications, especially in the mental health context in South Asia.
We do learn from the region and from what has been happening, and there are so many similarities. But also on a different note, I would say that this experience of the COVID experience has been something very unique in my lifetime. I mean, the world has gone through so many these kind of pandemics, and but this is something that happened in the full glare of the social media and the media, and it was real time. It was as if it was happening, although we were restricted, we were under lockdown, we were like, no traveling, and countries were all closed off and so on. Still, it was internationally the whole thing, the drama took place in front of us, and we are still learning. This coronavirus has really taught us quite a bit about, and it has actually brought all this the international everybody together really. Although we are separated and we are not able to, but we have been able to feel a certain universal feeling. I mean, the coronavirus didn't discriminate between. I mean, it went after everybody. So in a way, we were all the receiving end. So I think these important lessons are there, and there's much more that we can learn as we go along.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this conversation. It's been really interesting to have you all together on one platform so we can kind of help document South Asia's response to COVID-19, but also perhaps collectively brainstorm and think about some of the potential responses that our countries can take. For more discussions like this one, please head over to our website, himalmag.com. And again, thank you to our audiences as well for joining us.